Well, back here on Back Together Weekend, presented by YouTube TV, the Giants. Oh, how about this grab? I got to tell you, this is a new-look offense. Russell Wilson now at the helm with Brian Daboll and company. There's definitely some weapons in town. As we take it to East Rutherford, our insiders, Judy Batista, Mike Garofalo, are standing by with the Giants' new quarterback. Guys, I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, Mike, wouldn't you know, Russell Wilson with us here, joining us after practice for Back Together Weekend. You should have seen his face just watching that play right there. That's your first look at it.
I like those big explosive plays. That was a big play by Slayton right there.
It's funny you say big explosive plays because pre-practice somebody said, well, it's going to be third down and second and long. This is probably going to be a defense-dominated practice. We had one-handed catches. Yeah. We had Jameis doing the duck walk. We have you scrambling out. We had Scattaboo on the left side. Offense showed out today.
Yeah, it was a great day. I think that we made a lot of plays today, offensively and defensively too, and it's a collective effort that we're just getting better every day, and we've had a lot of great days. I think Malik Neighbors has been special for us so far. He's making a lot of plays. Slayton, you saw that one-handed catch. You know, he's dominant in a lot of ways, and I think Wandell's had a great, training camp as well, but it really starts with offensive line. I think the offensive line's doing a great job against a really good defensive line. I mean, arguably, in my opinion, the world's best at how they rush the passer. So, but we're having fun out here, and all the fans, it means a lot to us.
I know what the Giants think you have brought to this offense, but what do you think you have brought to this offense?
Well, I think the few things that I always want to bring is obviously confidence. The kind of that no fear, no blink mentality. I think that's the first thing. I think the second thing is just obviously the experience of playing a lot of football and being in a lot of moments, and we just want to have a collection of great moments and let them add up from one practice to the next and let that add up to the game. And that's how you give yourself the best chance possible. And I think that just the championship mentality, that it's possible. We got to be really focused every day and bring our best and put on a show every day at practice. Our practices have to be harder than the game. And that's what we're doing. That's what we're working on every day.
We're seeing your coach, Brian Daboll, there in the shades. He doesn't like to wear the hat. I like to protect the dome every now and then. It's not too sunny today, so it wasn't too bad. But he's got an interesting personality. You've got your personality. You're very upbeat. You're very positive. You're very, very energetic. Has it been a good give and take between you guys on a daily basis? Yeah,
I mean, Coach Daboll is awesome, man. He's so cerebral, but he's also so competitive. And I'm competitive. Anybody knows me. Like, I just want every play to be right. For us to be excellent and to us to bring that edge at practice. I mean, we got to make, like I said, practice harder than the game, and that feeling of what a game championship moment feels like. And I think Coach Daboll does a great job of that all the way from the meeting room and even in OTAs and what the level of communication, the level of accountability, the level of communication, the level of focus that he wants us to have and wants us to bring. And I think that it marries up really well. And so I love Coach Dabes and what he's doing and how he's setting us up for success.
You brought up Malik Neighbors. Obviously, we saw flashes last season of what he can be. You've played with a lot of great wide receivers. What can Malik Neighbors be?
Oh, man, Malik's a freak. His ability to get down the field, his ability to catch a hitch against the Colts and take it to the house, his ability in practice, his practice habits have been excellent, and that's just continuing to grow. It's continuing to we spend a lot of time together, and he's asking a lot of great questions. We all flew out to guys when we came out to San Diego, California, and we just got a lot of extra work in the summer too as well, and we spent a lot of one-on-one time, but also a lot of time together as a group. And I think a lot of that was really him asking a lot of questions about how to take care of his body, his mind, everything else. And we get to share that. He wants to be an all-time great, and he's got the ability to do it. And it's my job to help him get there. And it's not just on the field, but it's off the field. It's the mentality, the practice habits, and the work ethic, and he has all that. And so, whatever I can help, with and add to that, But he's a playmaker. When you got guys that you can throw it to, they can catch it. That's how you know he's great.
He gave you some love on a podcast the other day. He was talking about he saw a play where he thought you were going to change it because of what he thought the coverage was. You didn't change it. The play was successful. You saw it the right way. So that's helping him, obviously. Do you remember that play in particular that I'm talking about, and how much is that going to be beneficial for him?
Yeah. He asked me after, because we threw a touchdown on it, and he was like, how the hell did you know that wasn't man? Because it all looked like man-to-man, and just, I guess that's a lot of football. I know it's 14 years of it, but just feeling what the looks look like and everything else. But I think that, he makes it fun. I mean, he can catch anything you throw to him, and he's super talented.
I want to ask you about Jackson Dart, a rookie. You've been around other rookie quarterbacks. Give us the scouting report on Jackson Dart and where his progression is right now.
Well, he's got a great arm, first of all. He can do a lot of different things. I think that he's a guy who's confident. He's a guy who just wants to constantly learn. He's asking me a lot of questions, and I think we were able to share a lot of those thoughts with him. And then just, for me, it's, we want every guy to get better every day, and that's starting with me to everybody else, and especially within a quarterback room. So we want to always have a great quarterback room, and to be able to share that knowledge and push each other and have those days where we're challenging each other in every way.
Let's stay in the room, because I mentioned Jameis after he made the one pass. He had that duck walk or whatever you want to call it going on to celebrate. What's your best Jameis story so far? And I know you guys knew each other before you got here. What's the best Jameis story so far in the spring or summer?
Man, there's too many to tell. I think the thing about Jameis is, what makes him great is, one, his ability to throw the football. But I think what makes him great is just his love for his teammates, how he wears his soul on his chest, he's going to let you know how he feels, and you know what you're going to get every day, and that's his best version of him. And that's what makes a great teammate, and he's all in on it, and he's a great leader.
You've accomplished an awful lot in your career. What is there left for you to prove this season with the New York Giants? What do you want to prove for yourself? Yeah,
I think for me, ultimately, I always want to, for me to be my best every day. And, I think the biggest thing for me is help this football team win, get us to where we believe that we can get to. I see the little man in the background. But I think the biggest thing is get us to where we need to go. And that's the top. And I think, there's only one way to get there. And that's with our heads down and working. And you can't worry about the ends and results and all that stuff. You got to be so addicted to the process and so addicted to the moment that, everything else, you put your blinders on, you go. And I think that's the part that I've always focused on. I mean, yeah, the end and, holding up trophies and all that, but to get there, which I've done before and held one up, it's all the stuff right now. It's the addiction right now. It's obsession right now. It's the love of the moments right now. And then next thing you know, 17, 21, hopefully 20 games later, you look back and you're like, man, that was worth it all. And so, that's what I'm trying to do for us and for me. And I think that's the love of the game and the obsession of it.
Last one for you. I mentioned that scramble that you had. Looked like you pulled away from the DB on that one. So that's still a big part of it.
I still got wheels. They got me confused a little bit.
Are you also, you look a little slimmer maybe now than you've been in previous years?
I feel good. I feel great. I'm ready to play and ready to go do my thing. So it's time to put on the show.
Attaboy. Well, go do it. Listen, Russ, I know you haven't been around the last couple of years. Judy and I have been.
Yeah.
And I know it's optimism season in the NFL, but there is a tangible difference in energy here. Yeah. And I know that you're a big part of that. So enjoy that.
It means a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
We got to keep going, though.
Yeah, exactly. Well, good luck the rest of the way. We appreciate you stopping by here on Back Together Weekend.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mike.
Terrific job, guys, hearing from Russell Wilson. I got a lot of family in that New York area. I think Mike G hit the nail on the head. A lot of optimism around this team. No one's ever concerned, though, about Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati offense. The #1 pass offense in the NFL. Burrow threw for almost 5,000 yards, 43 touchdowns a season ago. For a little bit more on this squad, Rhett Lewis, Charles Davis standing by for a little bit more. Guys, clearly everyone is fired up and never concerned about this team's offense. But take me through what you guys have been able to witness over the last few hours.
Well, I tell you what, seeing that connection that you guys just showed right there, Burrow to the now second-year wideout Jermaine Burton, I think is a very welcome sight. All the talent in the world, can you put it all together? By all accounts, this has been a much more productive camp for Burton. But I want to start with the main attraction, which is Burrow to Jamar Chase, 9-1, because we saw that a number of times today. I love the creativity that Zach Taylor uses CD to get the ball into Jamar Chase's hands. Kind of saw him coming out of the backfield a little bit today in a screen pass. There's no shortage of ways to use that kind of talent. What did you see from that group today?
No, I think you hit the nail on the head, because let's just keep it to those two to start off with. We know Burrow can handle any situation out there, and he's ahead of the game on everything. What's the old expression? He plays chess while the rest of us play checkers, right?
No question.
So he's seeing the game moves ahead. He's seeing open spots before they open, and he's putting the ball in those places for receivers to go get them. Because he and Jamar Chase have all that time on task going back to their college days, he's right there with him. Jamar Chase understands, oh, I don't need to go here. I need to go here, because that's where Joe's going to put it and go to those spots. Plus, you mentioned the creativity Zach Taylor has with the playbook, with Dan Pitcher, the offensive coordinator. You will see Jamar Chase continue to line up anywhere and everywhere in order to create mismatches and possibilities to get the ball in his hands, including he's going to line up a tailback, just going to turn and pitch it to him.
No question.
They're going to jet sweep it to him. They're going to make sure he's swinging it out of the backfield. He'll line up short in the slot, wide in the slot, all the way out. You name it. He'll run tight end routes. Anytime they think they can create a play for him, it's going to be on the play card of Zach Taylor.
Yeah, and then, you combine that with, obviously, with T. Higgins. That was a phenomenal play earlier today you just saw from Jamar Chase.
And Jamar Chase understood it's not going to be here. It's going to be there.
That's right.
And went there, and the ball was waiting for him.
Yeah, beat DJ Turner, looked like on that play. But he's mentioned, and Jamar did stop by and chat with us for a while. We'll have that conversation for you coming up a little bit later today on Back Together Weekend. But it's some really good high-level competition with this group of DBs. We'll talk about the defense as well in a little while. I think the run game is always an intriguing piece here with Cincinnati because you have the allure of this high-powered passing attack. But Chase Brown has really stepped into a bigger role, and I'm curious to see how this offensive line kind of come together with maybe some new pieces on the interior as well, Charles.
Agreed. Offensive line, Ted Karras is still the pivot at center, but they drafted Cody Fairchild out of Georgia. Looks like he's going to be a starter at one of the guard positions. Cody Ford is at the other, excuse me, it's Dylan Fairchild. Yeah. Cody Ford is the starter at the other guard, and then they are massive at offensive tackle.
Gosh.
Orlando Brown Jr. at left tackle, Amarius Mims at right tackle. This sun is beating us all down, Mike Yam. But guess what? Those two blot out the sun.
We just stood next to them as much as possible.
The field tilts when they are together running. The field and the ground shakes and running backs stumble.
Indeed.
I'm going to leave you with this part, Brett.
Yeah.
Chase Brown, what I observed from him is we know he can run the football. That's not an issue. They've asked him over the last 2 years to get better in the pass game.
Yeah.
So where did I see Chase Brown in the early warm-ups today? Running routes with the receivers, catching football with the receivers. He wasn't with his running backs group. Continuing to try to expand his game, because if he does, he will be rewarded with the football by Zach Taylor.
Yeah, and just a couple more notes from the folks that we got a chance to kind of talk to in and around the organization today. It just, I think it's commonplace to hear a team talk about their quarterback having the best offseason and all. Here with Cincinnati, it's real. And even though Joe Burrow came out and said after day one, like, this is not where we need to be, poorly executed, I think were his words on day one. That's him holding himself to maybe an unattainable standard, but that's what keeps you driving to be the best. And I think the word around here is Burrow has been incredible, not just through the start of this training camp, but this entire offseason. And excited to see, we know what we're going to get from Jamar and T, but excited to see what guys like Jermaine Burton and Andre Iosivas and how they take the next step, or a guy like Charlie Jones, some of these younger guys looking to step into, a vital role, along with Mike Gesicki, who can, go up and catch the ball anywhere.
Yeah, what they're really looking for is that third receiver to replace Mike Gesicki as wide receiver 3.
Right.
Gesicki is a tight end. They're running a lot of routes for him as a wide receiver. They'll still do that, but they really want a third guy who can step in and be consistent, whether it's Iosivas or whoever it might be, to get Gesicki back into more of the traditional tight end role and allow Joe Burrow to operate that way. One last thing. Joe Burrow, I think this is the first time that we go into a preseason or a training camp that there's literally no issue with health coming off of COVID. We're not coming off of anything. Last year it was the wrist. He still was rounding into form. Don't have that at all.
No.
They want the quicker start. They've been lousy starts in September for Cincinnati. This might be the year